It'd be really helpful if everyone who's watching this video currently could like and subscribe and help us out a little bit. But today I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Kyle's Korner podcast, episode 7, part 2. Are dinosaurs real? And come back and enjoy the show. Thank you guys for watching.
Okay, Chris, I think we need to transfer over to the Jurassic World series. I think we have enough about Jurassic Park.
Okay, Jurassic World, here we go.
So I think the most interesting part of Jurassic World was the talking between characters. Like at the beginning, they talk about how they mixed in other DNA with dinosaurs to make them look like how people would expect them to look like in books and stuff. So that might explain why they didn't have feathers earlier in the Jurassic Park series.
Yep, they mixed
in frog DNA, cuttlefish DNA, whatever like that, so they look more like amphibians and reptiles.
Yeah, the scene where the millionaire goes to Dr. Wu and he goes, "What did you put in this Indominus Rex?" And he's like, you can't have the corresponding traits without having the DNA and the heritage for it. So
yeah, he said it wouldn't look like what people would expect dinosaurs to look like. So he added other stuff in
to fulfill
the fantasies and stuff.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And then what happened after? Oh, I can't remember what happened in Jurassic World.
Jurassic World is where the kids go there for the vacation because the mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Oh yeah,
it's
Aunt Claire.
Aunt Claire, yep. And so they go to the island so they can have a getaway while the mom and dad dish it out over the lawyers and stuff. And then while they're there...
Well, in this island too, Chris, it's also an amusement park. They also fulfill John Hammond's dream. It's like a fully secure amusement park with trained
It actually is on Isla Nublar. Because remember when the dinosaur escapes and the kids are running away from the Indominus Rex, they run into the old facility where the old jeeps are.
I don't know why they wouldn't just destroy all the Jurassic Park stuff.
Well, I mean, it's easier and cheaper to build new stuff instead of demo and then rebuild.
Well, I mean, also the T-Rex is the original T-Rex from the first Jurassic Park too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they did a lot of advertisement for Jurassic World. I think they did a lot of ads. They created their own website too for Jurassic World.
Oh, really?
It was JurassicWorld.com where you could do a virtual reality visit of the island.
I never...
They really tried to push this.
They absolutely did. They tried to push it. I remember seeing the TV commercials for it and, getting all excited for it. Mom, Dad, we gotta go see this.
We gotta go see Jurassic World.
Yeah, because when I was little, I was super hooked on the music and the film of the Jurassic Park, so I had to see the sequel parts.
Were you disappointed, Chris, for Jurassic World?
Actually, I don't think I was. I was really impressed. Even that the music was composed by Michael Giacchino. I was still really impressed with the movie, and I might just be nostalgic about it, but especially the opening scene when they're visiting the island and they're taking the monorail and they're seeing all the dinosaurs as they're walking through the park and they see all the Petured Triceratops and the long necks. And all the kids they're all having their own fun. It reminded me of my younger days when I went to Disney World and the Animal Kingdom.
Or the giant, what's it called? I don't remember what the dinosaur is. It comes up and eats the shark and does the whale thing.
The Megalodon.
Is it Megalodon?
Yeah, Megalodon.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't a shark.
No,
it was eating a shark.
It was the Mosasaur.
Yeah,
Mosasaur. Yeah.
That was probably the coolest thing ever. It was like SeaWorld where they
fed it the great white shark.
That was sick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it really failed. It failed because the CG, it was too much. They didn't really, because Jurassic Park was a mixture of realistic visual effects, like Star Wars, where you have dolls and models that you film separately, and then you also have CGI elements. But this one was fully CGI. If you see the behind the scenes, the kids, they have a blue dot and they're this is where the dinosaur would be, so pretend you're scared of the dinosaur. They don't have as much of a reaction.
Yeah, it's not something to look at. It's something you can look at and feel. Because when you do the CGI thing, you have to pretend. I mean, don't get me wrong, the acting was pretty good, and they were able to work with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because you're not senses,
physically seeing anything.
Yeah, it's not unified. So everyone's fear factor is different. So they're not seeing it come towards them, and they're just kind of guessing what
I would say it actually probably go down because you wouldn't be as scared.
Yeah,
it'd be really hard.
It's not as unified, and it's not the fear factor isn't on the same level. Because if you can see it physically and you can see it and touch it, and you can have a good representation of what it would be like if it was real and it was actually attacking you. Versus when you're in CGI,
you see a guy in like a
yeah.
in a Velociraptor suit with a green head.
Yeah,
coming at you.
They were trying to do the good CGI for the Velociraptors, and so they had those guys in the blue morph suits and the sensory on their joints so they could mimic it.
I mean, it was really good CGI, but it just doesn't.
It took away from the film a little bit.
It doesn't give you the same emotion as seeing like a doll or something real that you can physically see and physically like understand as that's a Velociraptor, and it could be actually real. Because even for like Jurassic Park, when the screen comes down, I think the actor, where the T-Rex and like goes after the screen in the Jeep with the two kids.
Yeah.
I believe the actor said it was like actually a malfunction with the T-Rex robotics and the
when it jumped, it was the car. It was the tour guide car with the glass top,
and it was actually pushing down there, like actually screaming for real.
Yeah, because it was the joint that the T-Rex head was attached to, the bottom rotor part, the pneumatic cylinder, that gave out. So when it crashed through the window, that was the window actually crashing.
Exactly. It looks way better than like if it was just a CGI thing. Yeah. They're actually screaming for their lives and stuff.
They were holding up the window.
They're trying not to die. See, that's just like better stuff though. It's hard to tell like in that scene if it's acting or if it's real, but it was actually real. But you still get the same emotions if it was, even if it wasn't real. The plot was good though for Jurassic World, like a well-established park. It follows the same lore as the first one. Yep. It sets up good. Something bad happens. Everyone dies. But that's something that we're familiar with. But it's a different way though, because we'd all expect like the raptors or the T-Rex to be going after the tourists, but it's a new genetically modified organism that's killing the people. Yeah, the Indominus. Yeah. Chris roll size of that. It's. Yeah, I think it was pretty interesting how when they visited the Indominus paddock, and Chris Pratt is like, you don't want to start scheduling. You have to, you don't want to have scheduled play dates with other dinosaurs because it was raised in captivity. It killed its sibling. It's pretty much psychopath. Its only trusted thing is when the hook drags the meat down. So he doesn't think it's a good idea. And it goes along with, like, what pets. If you raise your pets in this exclusion, unless you bring them to dog parks or, like, I don't know, cat parks or something like that to interact with people, they can have a tendency to get aggressive when they get to meet other people or meet other pets because they don't know where they fit in the chain of, dominance. Like we brought Chihuahua. Yeah. So, like, in the first movie, it wasn't that something bad it wasn't that necessarily that something bad happened. It was introducing the new creature to the food chain, and that's humans and the other dinosaurs, and that's what the dinosaurs understood that they were the top of the food chain, and we thought we were, and that's why there's so much conflict in the first three movies because we thought we were on top. Yep. But they were really like bred to kill everything. Yep. But this thing doesn't understand that, so it just pretty much. It's trying to figure it out where it is. Yeah. So it's like killing everything it can. People's, dinosaurs. Yeah, it killed all the brontosaurs for some reason. Here's the brontosaurus and the brachiosaurus that were in the fields. And then it kills the ankylosaurus. Yeah, it kills all of them, I think. It kills like all four of them. Yep. And then finally at the end it kills the three of the four velociraptors that were introduced to. Yeah, it kills Charlie, Delta, and Echo. But Blue's the only one that lives. And but you'd think it would die anyways, because at the end it pretty much killed all the other dinosaurs. So it had nothing to feed on, because it'd all be decomposing. Yep. But remember, here's another thing to think about. Remember in the first movie, or was it the second? It was the second film, I think, where they thought that because there was a certain gene or something that they had to get fed to survive. It was a certain hormone or something. Was it? Yeah, they referenced it. And the second movie, when they went back to the islands and they talked about it a little bit, because it was in the beginning,
because they're like, well, we thought after 5 years they'd all be dead because they weren't getting the certain protein. I think it was a certain protein.
Oh.
And they weren't getting the protein because they weren't getting fed by the people that ran the parks.
But they were just eating each other.
Well, what happened is they were eating... The herbivores were eating the plants, and the plants were actually, like, unofficially supplying the gene.
Well, because if they poop out their poop would contain, like, the proteins and stuff, so the plants would feed on the proteins...
it turns into a big cycle.
Yeah, a big cycle.
The herbivores eat the protein from the grass, and the carnivores eat the herbivores, and that's how they get the protein. So
it's like its own cycle of life.
It turns into its own cycle.
Even though I don't think they wanted that.
They didn't intend for it, but that's just how it happened.
And I think we'll go on to arguably the worst Jurassic movie.
I will agree a little bit on this one. I didn't like the ending at all.
The ending where they all escape and they show at like the zoo and stuff.
Yeah, they show Blue on top of San Francisco.
Las Vegas, I'm pretty sure. It was some desert place.
Well, remember they saw the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe that was a different one.
Well, it showed because it was the outskirts of San Francisco where the rock and the mesas kind of meets the town, and in the distance, Blue can see the Golden Gate Bridge. But then you see the ankylosaurs are getting shipped away through the mesas, like of Nevada and Utah.
I mean, would it be... That's what I don't understand. Would it be bad for the herbivores to exist? They really don't do anything. They're just
not necessarily.
Grass and stuff.
Yeah, I would... Actually, if it was real, I would go as far as to try and buy an ankylosaur. They're my favorite dinosaur.
I'd go for Triceratops.
Triceratops? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Well, I mean, because, like, the carnivores definitely do stuff, but you'd think, like, the military could just, like, go hunting for them, like, shoot them in the head, and that'd be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, like, send in jets, and they could just bomb an area and kill Blue instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the big deal was. The only hard thing would be the mosasaur, because it's underwater.
But then you can use the depth charges. Remember, they send the barrels and the...
That'd be pretty hard, though, because the ocean's really deep, and you wouldn't know where in all, like, the 7 seas where it'd be.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that got me. Remember in the beginning of the third film, when those people went to the paddock for the mosasaur, and they were picking up the Indominus bone.
Are you talking about the second one? You said the third one, Chris.
Yeah, second one. The second Jurassic World. And they try to close the gate, but the gate gets left open because the T-Rex steps on the guy's, like, iPad that was controlling the gate.
His iPad.
So it loses connection, and the gate doesn't
iPad,
shut
dude.
Yeah, and he's running for his life back to the helicopter.
Does he get eaten, or does he survive it? I can't remember.
Well, what happens is the guy escapes momentarily. The T-Rex stops at the end of the pier, because remember where it opens into the mosasaur paddock?
Oh. And
he gets away. He gets on top of the ladder, and then out of nowhere, the mosasaur just comes up and grabs the ladder and kills the guy. They get the bone, but the guy that was operating the iPad to open the gates, he's
no!
dead. Yeah.
My iPad, not my life.
Yeah, so the paddock doesn't get closed, and that's one thing. As they were showing the helicopter fly away from the island,
you see the mosasaur
swimming through the paddock. So now it also it's one of those the new organism introduced to the food chain. Cause
hopefully it's not a female, so it can't reproduce or anything. Hopefully it's just a male. They can just die.
Hopefully, but let it scavenge the oceans for a little bit.
But I think
all the whales.
That one had it's extinction of all the blue whales because of one mosasaur.
Damn it, InGen.
But I think that had the worst plot line out of all the movies.
Yeah, I agree.
With the old dude who was...
Especially with everything being contained in that small mansion. Like, that was...
pretty unrealistic.
Really unrealistic, and it kind of threw... I think when I was first watching it, it kind of threw me off a little bit.
They have an underground bunker right underneath their
under research center, and especially
how did the guy not notice? He doesn't have a bunker. The old guy didn't even know. He's like,
well, he knew. Remember when they go through the movie, he explains how him and John Hammond were first working there under his mansion as the research facility, and then they broke apart because he wanted to use the cloning abilities for humans. Yeah. And that's his stepdaughter, his granddaughter?
His daughter clone.
Yeah, his daughter's clone.
He calls her his granddaughter, though.
Yeah, so she doesn't get conflicted about what she actually is, and just believes that she's, granddaughter.
That was such a stupid idea to clone him. That was so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because how does he even get her anything? How did she get her blood test or anything? Because she'd have the same exact DNA as her mother.
Well, that's not hard to
Well, he's a millionaire too, or billionaire probably.
Yeah, my guess is that it's really easy to cover up though, because you get a lot of your DNA from your parents, so
but it'd be 100% from her mom.
Yeah, he might have actually put in some of his own to help mix it up a little bit.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
I mean, it is weird, but just to throw off the trail, because anyone who actually looked at the DNA test could see that it's an exact replica. But at the same time, would you, as a blood test, technician, go through the effort? Not. Yeah. So the likelihood,
I don't care.
The likelihood of that actually someone is gonna double check on that sort of thing.
It's 1 out of 100.
1 out of 100, but that one chance that they do, he's probably got some precautionary, just to fall back.
And then we meet the super black Indoraptor. It's pitch black, right?
Yeah, it was like a dark black with a silver lining, sort of.
Did it look like the Indominus Rex? I don't think it really did.
No. Remember, it was a lot smaller. It was
barely
bigger than.
Claws, though,
I suspect that's what they modeled. I think they modeled it off of the Utah Raptor, because remember, the Utah Raptor was slightly bigger, slightly stronger, slightly more masculine than the original Velociraptor that they anticipated for the movie. So I think that they modeled the Indoraptor off of the actual Utah Raptor.
It's so weird because both the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, two of the dinosaurs that have an existential crisis. They want to figure out where they belong, and they want I think in the Indoraptor wanted a mom or something because it was sniffing her hair and stuff. It knew who she was, and it was following her too. Do you remember? Because it was that was the whole plot of the movie. It was trying to hunt her at the end or trying to get to her. It was chasing her. It was sniffing the air. Do you remember that? In the museum scene, they were hiding and it was sniffing and looking for her.
Yeah. I don't think. I think it was more a hunting, a trying to kill. But remember, during the film, they referenced the fact that they wanted Blue to be the mother to the Indoraptor, the next generation that they're going to make, because they brought out the Indoraptor as a trial to see if people would buy it. And then it turned out that they wanted to, so they were going to bring it back into them. But then the group sabotaged the auction.
Yeah.
But they were going to make... Dr. Wu was going to make the second generation of Indoraptors, and that Blue was going to... kind of foster the new generation, because remember, Blue was obedient to Chris Pratt in the first movie.
Oh, his name's Owen. That's his name.
Owen, yeah, Owen Grady.
Of course, Owen, my favorite Jurassic Park character.
Yep. So,
yeah.
No, it's okay. I get it. So Blue was supposed to foster in the next generation of Indoraptors that Dr. Wu was going to create. Yeah.
Dr. Wu died. Can't remember. He died, right? In the end of it, he got killed by Blue.
Yes, because one of the group members got sabotaged and throughout the whole scene, the black guy,
the guy from Detective Pikachu, whatever his name is, Justice Smith.
Yep, absolutely, yep. He was supposed to bring him the blood sample, and then he took the keys. He took the keys from Dr. Wu and threw them to the girl, and she just opened the cage, and Blue killed Dr. Wu.
So how are they gonna have a third one then? Because Dr. Wu can't make dinosaurs anymore. How are they gonna... Is it just gonna be them hunting the dinosaurs?
I think InGen got their hands on another set of DNA. Because remember, they were evacuating the building.
Yeah.
The only thing they didn't get was the Indoraptor's claw. I remember. Or the Indominus Rex's, I think it was a tooth or something. It was the thing that they brought up from the ocean floor.
I thought it was a bone or something. I thought they shot off one of his bones.
I think it was one of the teeth. Remember, they had the grab and they sawed it underwater and then they attached a balloon to it and then went it up. I think it was a tooth or a claw because it was the
I don't remember, Chris.
The point was whatever they sawed off, they didn't get, because remember at the end the Tyrannosaur stepped on the glass.
Yeah, it broke the tooth, and then he ate the guy. Whatever the guy's name was.
It was the Carnotaur and
the T-Rex, because they were
the Carnotaur and the T-Rex,
and then they ripped them in half.
Yep.
That was like a weird direction for a Jurassic Park movie to go into human cloning, which is arguably like pretty controversial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's been like in the public eye for a long time after they cloned Dolly in real life.
Dolly the sheep. Yep. Was that one New Zealand? Or it was in Greenland, I think.
Greenland or something. But it's been like, should we clone humans for like, or should we even clone organs for humans? It's been very like highly debated topic that still hasn't been resolved today.
Yeah, the stem cell research is all about cloning.
Yeah, so it was a pretty weird direction to go for dinosaur horror genre.
Absolutely. I never anticipated. I remember watching the
trailers.
The trailers for the at the time upcoming Jurassic World 2, and I never suspected that would have been the underlying plot was about cloning and stuff. But there's, it's really interesting that when Disney makes movies, they have a way of bringing up modern like political topics into the movies.
You don't think Disney would do that because
Disney's always been pretty political,
but like their underlying like
the
age group is for like children.
But then because the children are influenced it subtly at such a young age.
Chris came up with a conspiracy theory. Disney's trying to control all the kids and make them become the next political leaders.
Yeah, there is that. I will agree with you on that they're trying to like subliminally send out the political messages to the children in a way that they don't pick it up, but once they're older they can remember
they'll realize
realize that the big political topics that they were children and didn't necessarily understand were set into the movies.
That's kind of true. I guess there is like a lot of like underlying hidden meanings to a lot of Disney movies.
Yep, absolutely.
Even like the new Star Wars movies there are.
Yeah. One scene particularly was like the Last Jedi when Rey goes to the island.
And he just throws away the lightsaber. Is that your time when she goes to the island and she gives the lightsaber to Luke and he just throws it away?
No, the milking scene from the new Star Wars. Remember? That was a controversial topic. The political idea behind that was, should breastfeeding be allowed in public? And one way to introduce that I caught very quickly was that he went to the
giant nipple monster.
Yeah, and got his like
green milk. He's like he got over his mouth and started like licking his lips.
Yeah, that was a big topic that they talked about. Was in the
I didn't even think about that, Chris. I wasn't even paying attention that closely. I thought they just wanted to reference like blue milk in that movie. From the original one.
That was a political topic at the time. The breastfeeding in public, because there was a huge debate over that.
So, Chris, I think we're coming to an end pretty soon here.
No, I got so into this. Dang it.
Chris, what else you got? What else you got to talk about? Yeah, he's done. Okay. So, we can both agree we really are in love with the Jurassic Park franchise as a whole. Even though I don't currently like Jurassic World 2 or really like the first one. The second
Jurassic World for sure was kind of a kicker for me. I don't think I enjoyed the plots as much. My favorite has hands down the third Jurassic Park movie.
Third Jurassic one? I like the second or the first one.
Second or the first one are good competitors to me. Though this nostalgia on the first Jurassic World was pretty epic. I brought back good times in Disney World and SeaWorld and
all the
Disney parks.
Disney's parks and stuff.
It almost felt real.
So Chris is living in this new reality he's made. But I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to watch the Kyle's Corner podcast today. I just want you to crack open a cold one.
Crack one with the boys.
Crack one open the boys. Have a good rest of your day and goodbye. Chris.
Goodbye.
Chris, say goodbye, okay? Bye.
Bye.